Hello, Grapperinos, and welcome to another exciting episode of Probably Next Week on Raw. I'm Bryon, and I'm once again joined by probably someone who enjoyed probably the Royal Rumble, Mike. Say hi, Mike.
Assalamu alaikum, Habibi. Inshallah. How was your Royal Rumble experience, Brian? I thought
Oh
it
man,
was overall a okay pay-per-view. Women's Rumble was decent.
yeah.
Men's Rumble, I'm gonna say it was a snooze fest.
Whoa.
The AJ Gunther match was good, and the Sammy Drew match was also decent as well.
Yeah, I okay. So I think that the Women's Rumble definitely had a layer of predictability to it. I thought Liv Morgan was gonna win on the predictions video. If you haven't seen that, you can see it on the channel. But I did expect Liv Morgan to win, and I did. So I guess that means it's predictable. So there you go. As for the men's rumble, I suppose no one expected Roman to win, unless you're in the minority, I suppose. But I did not expect Roman to win. I also did not want Roman to win. I wanted someone new, and the fact that Roman won kind of made WrestleMania season predictable and kind of, I don't know, kind of ho hum, especially after what Roman said. About the creative being not great and how they have to catch up. And apparently that means putting Roman back on top, which is not what you want. I guess the only positive out of it is that if someone gets the title off of Roman, if he does get a title, then that means that, well, that person gets built up. But Roman winning the Rumble was just not predictable. It made the whole Rumble kind of mid, and it makes the whole season, as a result, kind of mid as well. So, yeah, I agree with you, Mike. The Rumble experience was mid. As you said, I thought AJ and Gunther was a great match. I thought Sammy versus Drew was not bad. And I thought that the Women's Rumble was better than the men's this year, just because of the ending and the fact that there were a couple of things that branched out more in terms of how interesting the storyline branches were for the women than the men. But yeah, mid Rumble this year, I do hope that the booking improves after this. Although, judging by the fact that WrestleMania is going to happen in Saudi Arabia next year, probably not. But regardless, we are here to predict and book the next episode of Monday Night Raw, heading out of the Royal Rumble as we, I suppose, build towards the Elimination Chamber. So, we'll go over the rules, I guess. So, we book based on these rules, and we tell you our bookings for the next episode of Monday Night Raw. And we also tell you our predictions as well for what's going to happen on that booking. And then, after that, we will watch the next episode of Monday Night Raw as it drops. And we will then score our predictions and bookings based on the scoring system. And we will be back on the next episode of the show to tell you what we got. And we do this whole thing over again. So, let's get to our scores. I have 11 points. I don't know why, but I got 11 points. I got the majority of the points from Division appearing on the show. And also AJ Styles, Judgment Day, Rhea, Io, Punk, and the Alpha Academy winning their match. And yeah, the majority of it was appearances, 11 points. What about you, Mike?
Yeah, I got 8 points. Again, I struggle to book Raw. I think SmackDown seems to be the more consistent show, even though people tend to think that the more consistent the show is, the more boring it is. I please want to again refer you to 2000s and 2001 WCW. That consistency does not mean the show is boring. If a show is random, it can still be completely boring. And I think Raw is just kind of very random and tends to be kind of, I mean, it's actually kind of entertaining, but it's also very random. Anyway, rant over. I got most of my points from The Vision and CM Punk showing up. I got AJ Styles having a promo as well. And yeah, there you go. I also got points from the luchadors showing up as well.
Nice.
So there you go.
Well, I'm hoping that you actually get a lot of points this week because my booking is not the best. It's looking at what I have booked, it's not the best, but you know, we'll see if Triple H and I can get on the same mindset. But we'll see about that. I don't think anything was announced, unless I'm wrong. So, nothing was announced as a result. So, without further ado... Yeah?
Yes, there was. Last week they announced Raquel versus Stephanie for the Women's World Championship. Remember to Street Fight?
Oh, that's right. Yes. Okay. Good to know. Thank you. I will make a note of that. So, without further ado, let's book this thing. Get to my version of the show first as the Vision head out and into the ring. That's a weird saying, but whatever. Paul Heyman then talks about the team's performance in the Royal Rumble, specifically the controversy of Braun Breaker being eliminated by an unknown assailant. As you know, before Oba Femi eliminated Braun Breaker in the Rumble, someone jumped in, a hooded man, did a couple of moves on Braun Breaker and attacked him, and then headed out, which again speaks to the security in this arena, which was terrible. But nevertheless, he was eliminated by an unknown assailant, and Paul says that he demands to know who ruined Braun's parade. He is then interrupted by Adam Pearce, who says he was very happy with how Braun got eliminated from the Rumble. He had a smile on his face watching the screen as Braun got eliminated by Oba Femi there. But since he is a fair GM, he will grant Braun an opportunity to get revenge on the man who eliminated him in the Rumble in the main event tonight. Braun accepts, and Paul, of course, communicates that, and they are attacked from out of nowhere by a bunch of luchadors, Penta, Rey Mysterio, Dragon Lee, and a returning LA Knight. LA Knight returned from the Rumble, and I guess he's being put back into the Vision to sort of do this stuff. So, yeah, I will talk more about this in the main event, but I think you may know who the hooded guy is, but unless they have a twist, I'm not sure, but I'm pretty sure we all know who the hooded guy will be. But anyway, moving on, Maxine Dupree against Natty. This is a follow-up from, I guess, the Royal Rumble, but also the weeks leading up to the Rumble. And I will have Natty win by submitting Maxine Dupree with the sharpshooter. This will lead to their second match at the Go Home show for the Elimination Chamber, which I think Maxine will win. And I would also be fine with putting Maxine into the Women's Chamber match, along with several other women, although that selection is kind of decreasing just due to the fact that they're focusing a lot on the women's tag team division more so than singles, women competition. So yeah, I wouldn't mind Maxine Dupree being put onto the women's chamber. I'm pretty sure that's probably what they're going to do, but I don't think Maxine is going to get that chamber win. I think she is going to lose ultimately, but she is going to get that spot if she does. And her feud with Natty probably wraps up around WrestleMania, and Maxine Dupree goes over. Moving on, Rhea Ripley and Io Sky have a little promo. They talk about the Rumble. They said that, or I suppose Rhea or Io says that they were both eliminated from the Rumble, which sucks. And despite the tensions brewing due to how they were eliminated from the Rumble, they are fine. They are friends. It's all happiness for them. And they are still women's tag team champions. They look forward to their next challengers, and they will prove once again that they are formidable champions. They are then interrupted by the Kabuki Warriors, who are upset at how they were eliminated and they want revenge. And they challenge Rhea and Io to a match. Sorry, just Io to a match. Io accepts, which shocks Rhea Ripley because I guess both of them have to be coordinated in terms of accepting challenges, and that leads into Io Sky versus Kairi Sane, and I will have Kairi Sane win by pinfall. After the match, Asuka attacks Rhea, but she is stopped by Lyra and Bailey, who come down to help Io and Rhea, but they are then stopped by the Judgment Day, and it's all chaos. It's all brawling between the women's tag teams, and the heels are on top when the segment ends. I think that the next challengers is probably going to be, I guess, after Julia and Kiana James, after them, it's probably going to be, well, Lyra and Bailey. I think they're up next. Or, maybe even the Judgment Day gets another go around, which is why I have them here. So, yeah. I don't know, honestly, who will win, but I'm expecting Rhea and Io, to get a decent title reign from the Women's Tag Team Championships. Speaking of Judgment Day, here's the Judgment Day. They come out to the ring, or the rest of them come out to the ring, rather. Liv talks about winning the Royal Rumble and how she will have the women's title from Stephanie Vaquer. She says that she is so happy that she won the Royal Rumble, and she did it with help from her friends. She is then interrupted by Stephanie Vaquer, who says that she will make sure that Liv Morgan does not take the title from her, whether she involves the rest of the Judgment Day or not. She then challenges Liv to a match, but Liv refuses, instead offering a match between Stephanie and Raquel Rodriguez. Stephanie accepts, and Raquel is mad that Liv basically threw this out there. And, well, she also got eliminated by Liv Morgan on the Rumble. So there's a lot of tension between Liv Morgan and Raquel Rodriguez. And, yeah, I think that this is going to probably go towards a face turn from Raquel. Probably going insofar as to go out of the Judgment Day along with Finn, I suppose. Maybe this is where the breakup of the Judgment Day happens. But we shall see. We shall see. Anyway, this leads on to Stephanie Vaquer versus Raquel Rodriguez. Vaquer wins. After the match, Liv and Rox beat up Stephanie, but are saved by, oh freaking god, the Bella twins, Brie and Nikki Bella. Nikki explains on the episode after this why she changed her mind, because she was feuding with Stephanie for a bit. And, it just explains that the Bella twins are back in the women's tag team title picture, along with the Judgment Day and Lyra and Bailey and all that. And this is their sort of entry point to that picture. And yeah, as for Raquel, well, I already said what's probably going to happen with Raquel. And Stephanie Vaquer is probably going to retain here. I think she's going to have a bit of a longer title reign. I do think that she will drop it to Liv at Mania. Sorry, Stephanie. And Liv Morgan can probably move on with the title. Although I wouldn't be shocked if Raquel turns on Liv here and goes out of the Judgment Day for what she done to Liv and have Stephanie retain there. Could be a twist. Could be Liv retaining. I'm leaning more towards Liv retaining, but we'll see about that. The Usos take on the Alpha Academy for the Tag Team Championships. So I will have the Usos win by pinfall. After the match, they are confronted by one Roman Reigns. Yes, this is my sort of reintroduction to Roman for this season. And he shakes their hand and sends a message to Punk saying, "I'm coming." No, not that kind. He means that he is coming for his title. CM Punk comes out to stare at Roman to end the segment. I think that we are probably heading towards Roman Reigns versus CM Punk for this year's Mania. Who is excited to see Unk take on Roman Reigns? Who's excited? But yeah, I think that it's probably heading towards that. And as I said, either option, Roman versus Punk or Roman versus um Cody or Drew. Either or option kind of makes it boring. And again, I wasn't fond of Jey Uso versus Gunther at WrestleMania, but that doesn't mean that I didn't like Jey Uso winning the Rumble. If I did say that I didn't like Jey Uso winning the Rumble last year, then my thoughts have changed since then. I think that Jey Uso winning the Rumble was a good decision. He was, he was popular, and they were taking that fan enthusiasm and translating it into a WrestleMania match. And for God's sakes, it was someone new. So I didn't mind that. I think it's just the booking after Jey Uso winning the Rumble was a little rough. Maybe more maybe more stunted, I suppose. But I think that Jey Uso was someone new, and him winning the Rumble was, something new. And Roman winning the Rumble was just going back to that old, kind of like an overcorrection, I guess you would say. So, anyway, I think Roman versus Punk is happening. I think Roman gets the title from Punk. He becomes the final boss again on Raw. And I think someone will, probably an Obafemi, probably someone else will try to take it from Roman. But we shall see. Maybe even Jey Uso. Who knows? But yeah. Main event. Braun Breaker takes on Obafemi. And I will have Obafemi win by pinfall after the hooded man comes out again. He attacks Braun and escapes through the crowd. Division are then attacked by the Luchadors and LA Knight. And in the final moments of the show, the hooded man, in the same way that Austin Theory revealed himself to be the final member of Division, in the same way, the hooded man reveals himself, and it is Seth Rollins. He cackles, he laughs as the Luchadors beat down on Division as the show goes off the air. This leads to a Braun-Seth rivalry heading into the Elimination Chamber. And I wouldn't mind having Braun and Seth, fight in the chamber. They both get spots. They fight in the chamber. Either one goes to WrestleMania to challenge, whoever. Maybe. And I think Braun wins that rivalry against Seth. And I think Braun will eventually get the title. I guess it's not this year, but probably later next year, I suppose. It just sucks that the breaks once again have stunted on Braun Breaker, and now he's probably never going to get a shot at Punk's title because Roman is now taking his spot. So there you go. Unless he goes over to SmackDown to challenge Cody or Drew, but I don't think that's going to happen. But yeah, questions?
So I heard from someone yesterday that people that he thought that Roman winning was a way to sort of please the people who had a bad taste in their mouth from Jey Uso winning the Rumble last year. And yes. I personally don't think people had that much of a problem with Jey winning, especially because the way that they booked his story against Gunther was actually really good. I just think the problem, like you said, came after Jey. It felt like they had Jey winning booked perfectly, but they didn't have a plan for what to do like after Jey actually won. And it feels like he was really hot, and as soon as he won, that they had no plan for him, and he just got stale so quickly, and that's what became a
Yeah.
problem for him.
And again, it's on the booking. It's on what they decided to book after Jey winning the Rumble, and maybe even after his match against Gunther and winning that championship, right? It's another one of those, 2025 wasn't a good year when it comes to booking for the WWE. There weren't a lot of good moments last year, if you think about it, from the company. So from the Rumble itself, I can kind of tell that this is going to be a continuation of that. Or they are, how last year the Rumble was good and Elimination Chamber was good, but WrestleMania was mid. Maybe they're trying to reverse that for this year, where the Rumble is not good, Elimination Chamber is not good, but you know what is good? WrestleMania. And I don't want that. I want each and everything to be consistent in terms of the quality. Like, I want Rumble to be good. I want Elimination Chamber to be good, and I also want WrestleMania to be good. Like, why can't every fan be that, and expect that the Rumble, the Chamber, and WrestleMania be good? Like that, I don't think that's an unrealistic expectation to have. But I do agree with you that it is an overcorrection from last year, as I said previously, right? Roman was basically a response to the people's reaction when Jey won. And the fact that Roman won, to me, makes the whole WrestleMania season kind of more stale and boring. Maybe it's to prove a point to the fans who wanted Roman to win, I suppose. I don't know. But I certainly did not ask for Roman winning. I did not ask for... I asked for Braun winning, Braun winning was, in my opinion, the trajectory. And the fact that Roman won instead of Braun, to me, just shows that they're reluctant to push Braun for some reason. Maybe it's the promo work. Maybe it's the in-ring work. Maybe it's the fact that Seth has to go up against Braun in order for him to finally challenge for the title against Punk again. I don't know. But they are reluctant to push Braun Breaker for some reason. I don't know why. But I guess any questions with my booking besides ranting about Jey Uso winning the Rumble last year, or do you want to move
No,
on?
I mean, I was going to ask where you think the Vision are going to go next, considering
Oh.
they just got fucking buffooned in the Rumble, but I guess you answered my question. It's going to be going back with Seth, running back LA Knight and Seth Rollins. So
Yes. Yeah.
Yep. All right. Cool.
I hope you enjoyed that. Hey man, LA
Yes,
Knight
I
eliminated
will. I'm looking
a
forward
couple
to it.
people, so we're back. We're back.
We're back. Hopefully we're back. All right.
All right. Well, we'll move on to your.
Yeah, my card. Let's go.
All right.
My shit card. Let's
Okay.
go. Yes.
Let's start off with.
We have a Liv Morgan promo. So Liv comes out with Dom and the rest of the Judgment Day, plus Raquel, who is kind of slow to get into the ring and also slow to get next to the rest of her group. So she comes out and talks about how she won the Rumble and that they're still tag team champions. And how Raquel has a shot tonight to win the women's championship. And, Liv goes on about how this is how the Judgment Day run things. And then Finn, who has been teasing leaving the group and or leaving the company entirely, apparently. He was mauling on Twitter for not being included in the Royal Rumble.
Finn?
Despite... Yeah, he mauled it on Twitter or X about not. He didn't say anything explicitly. I think he said something along the lines of, "I'm feeling disrespected around here," and I kind of have to agree with him. How they gave him a title shot and then didn't include him in the Rumble and put Mr. Iguana and fucking La Parka in the Rumble over him. Now, no disrespect to La Parka, man. I love La Parka. I mean, I didn't realize someone else was playing La Parka. I was so confused. I was like, wait a minute. This can't be the same La Parka that was in WCW. I mean, that shit was like 30 years ago. Like, how is he
They
There's
did it
no
for
way.
you,
Apparently,
man.
it's a different Laparca playing the same character. I enjoyed that, but did I think he deserved to be in the Rumble? No. Was it cool? Yes, but I kind of get what Finn is saying. So
That was their
I think
surprise entrant, I guess.
that was there's. I know you were waiting for Jericho or someone else, and it just never came. It was Mr. Iguana and Laparca. God. So what happened was Finn then says, "Oh, hold on. What if Raquel wins tonight? Are you going to go ahead and challenge Raquel?" Um, and there's a little bit of an awkward silence. They don't know what to say, and they are interrupted by the Bella twins who come out together. Nikki Bella is now face because reasons, I guess. I don't know. They are back and they are challenging for the women's tag team titles to reclaim their title as the greatest women's tag team of all time. So now the Judgment Day have a few problems they need to deal with, and that is how the show opens.
Great. Are you excited for the Bella Twins, bro? I'm pretty sure this is yet another team to add to the women's tag team picture. Again, they're focusing on the women's tag team picture for no reason.
I was going to ask you, do you think that the women's tag team division is going to blow up? But we can address that in SmackDown since that's more of a SmackDown.
Yeah,
thing,
sure.
So.
Sure. We'll do that. We'll move on to
Jey Uso versus Akira Tozawa. This is a typical tag team feud where they go 1v1 and then 1v1 the next week. I think Jey wins this one pretty easily. Again, Jimmy, I think, is still out on maternity leave, so I don't think he will be involved just yet. So, yeah, I think Jey wins this one. I think Jimmy comes back next week and loses against Otis, and then I think the Usos carry this on into WrestleMania. So,
okay, you're saying Alpha Academy versus the Usos at Mania for the title.
no, Usos versus Alpha Academy probably at either the Go Home show for Raw or at Elimination Chamber.
Okay. And do you think Usos retain here? Just
Yes.
overall?
Yeah.
All right.
Yep.
Perfect. And Alpha Academy can go back to being non-existent, like the Raw Tag Team division.
Yes.
Moving on to
the Vision come out for a promo after getting thoroughly punked in the Royal Rumble. The Vision come out with Paul Heyman. Paul Heyman goes on to explain to Adam Pearce how the security in this organization is very lax and they need to address it immediately, that he has had now Braun Breaker assaulted by a masked figure, and he has blatantly allowed the Vision to be teamed up against in the Royal Rumble, despite them teaming up against other people as well. He's interrupted by L.A. Knight, who comes out and talks about how he beat up most of the Vision in the ring last night or on Saturday night, and he comes out alone, and he is then attacked by the rest of the Vision, but he is saved by both Dragon Lee and Penta, and this leads to a match being booked for later tonight.
okay. I guess I'll ask it here instead of the match. Where do you think the Vision goes from here? Do you think Braun goes back to the title picture? Maybe an opportunity at Chamber? Do you think that we have the Luchadors against Bronson Reed and Logan Paul and Austin Theory at Mania? Where do you think this goes?
I think he has to win at Chamber. I think he has to, because if he doesn't get a title shot, then this whole Vision storyline has been an absolute failure. I know it was supposed to be Seth Rollins leading the group. I get that, but you can't convince me that this team is a threat when they have had no championship gold whatsoever at any point. Even the Judgment Day at one point held the men's single title, the World Heavyweight Championship. So, come on.
Well, Bronson Bronson Reed. Bronson Reed got a win against Roman Reigns, so that has to count for something, right?
That's their only
He
accomplishment.
stole his shoes. Okay, he didn't even get them back. So, yeah, I agree with you. I think they need to have Braun win the chamber and push him to be the next contender for Punk's championship, and I guess Roman versus Drew, so we can have Roman versus Cody later in the year. I guess is another possibility. But yeah, fair enough, I suppose. We'll move on from that too.
Maxine Dupree versus Natalia. I mean, I guess her name is Natty now.
Oh yeah. Oops.
Is it Natty?
It's
Okay.
Natty, yeah.
I guess her name is Natty. All right.
Whatever.
It's Natty,
Who cares?
Natalia, whatever.
Same
Same
name.
person.
Yeah.
I think Maxine wins this one via DQ after Becky Lynch comes in to attack Natty. Natty eliminated her from the Rumble on Saturday. This, I think, is leading to a three-way at Elimination Chamber between these three. So
Triple H loves his triple threat matches at major premium live events. Also, this picture of Natalia is from the WWE page. They have still not updated the image despite her having a gimmick change, but whatever. They didn't have a picture for Matt Cardona for like a couple of weeks until recently, so whatever. Anyway, so who do you think wins at that triple threat match? Do you think Becky retains? Do you think it goes to Maxine, give her that Mania win? Or I guess Chamber win?
I think Natty probably takes it back, honestly.
Wow. What a brave pick for Natty. Okay,
Yes.
fair enough. Do you think there will be a rematch between her and either Maxine or Becky? Or do you think she'll move on to someone like Ivy Nile or...
I can see it going back to Maxine at WrestleMania, probably, if she's improved by then. I think she's still a little bit raw, so...
You said Raw. Okay, anyway, we'll move on. We'll move on from that too.
We have a Gooner promo.
Yeah.
Gooner comes out after having successfully gooned again on Saturday against AJ Styles, who you didn't think would lose, but I saw it coming from a mile away because it's Saudi Arabia. I think that I was correct in my initial hypothesis, where I think this is a way for AJ to shoot for tire. Then he goes off, probably to TNA, to do a short retirement tour. And then maybe he probably comes back, late in the year as maybe like a manager or something. Maybe like in a one-time, match that is sanctioned or something like that. But basically, I think he's going to go to TNA for a little bit. Gunther comes out, and Gunther explains how he retired yet another legend at AJ Styles, and now that's been Goldberg, John Cena, and AJ Styles, and he is not the career killer, he is the legend killer. Well, say his name and he appears. Randy Orton comes out and says, "Hey, mister, that's my gimmick you're trying to steal. This is gimmick infringement. I have to take you to wrestler's court for that, buddy." Not really.
Imagine if they bring it back
out and confronts Gunther and saying there's only one legend killer in this company, and that's him. And this is leading to a very highly anticipated match, I'm assuming, at Mania between Gunther and Randy.
Oh yeah, Gunther versus Randy at Mania. That would be fantastic. And do you think there will be a retirement stipulation to Randy here? I know that Randy, he wants to, be a lifer and all that, but I think he's getting into the old stage a bit. So Do you think they'll tack on that retirement stipulation for Randy at Mania, or do you think it'll just be like a regular one-on-one here?
I think they will, and I think Randy wins.
Whoa. Okay. Wow. All right. Where do you see Gunther going from there then? With that loss to Orton.
Um, Probably on to SmackDown, I would assume, to go and challenge for the top title. So,
Oh, yeah. That makes sense. He goes he's mad that he lost to a SmackDown guy, so he just goes to SmackDown and be like, "You know what? I'm gonna ruin your title shot or whatever over there." I guess that makes sense, yeah. All right. Well, we'll move on from that too.
LA Knight versus Austin Theory. I think LA Knight wins this one thanks to interference from the Masked Man again. I don't know why Trips loves his Masked Man. Like, this is like the 5th time he's done this in the past 6 months. He just loves that
I
card.
told you,
He keeps
man.
pulling it out.
Where's the security?
So the Vision interfere, but he's fought off. But the Vision are fought off by the Luchadors. Braun Breaker comes down, and Braun Breaker is again fought off by the Masked Man. LA Knight wins, and then in the audience, the same way that Austin Theory revealed himself, Seth Rollins reveals himself, and Seth Rollins is back to retake his group from Paul Heyman.
Wow.
So
okay,
there you go.
Wow. Okay, so you think Seth? Okay. Do you think he does it eventually, or will Seth get cucked? I guess is the question.
I think he does it eventually. I mean, I don't know. It really depends on what they do at Elimination Chamber. If Braun loses, I think that Seth probably ends up taking down the Vision.
Okay.
If Braun wins, I think Seth gets cucked, because I think if Braun doesn't win, that's a signal that this group is done, and yeah.
Which sucks.
We're out of here.
So. Which sucks. This group, I think this group had a ton of potential. Like, as Paul said, they were going to be the future, and now they're wasted on Seth. It just sucks, but whatever. I guess it is what it is. Okay, so LA Knight was a golden jobber last year. Do you think? I know we had, initially bright for LA Knight's future, judging from the Rumble. But do you honestly think that LA Knight has a chance to get a title this year?
Yes.
Really?
I think so. Yeah. I
Are
think
we talking
that,
Intercontinental or something higher?
Yeah, I can definitely see him taking the IC title. I mean, I think Dom is legitimately injured. So yeah. I think he's going to have to give it up at some point. I don't know what the hell they're doing with him. But he's going to have to give it up at some point. And I think LA Knight is a good shot to have that IC title. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, for sure. I think so, too, yeah. I think LA Knight could carry that IC championship moving forward, especially with people like Rusev and maybe even Sheamus. There are a lot of people on Raw.
Poor Rusev, man.
Yeah.
Poor Rusev, bro. He got eliminated in like 6 seconds. Damn.
Yeah.
He signed back to WWE, was billed as like a monster, almost with the IC title, and gets in the Fiend Rumble and gets obliterated in 6 seconds. Eesh. Poor Rusev, man.
Oof. And they're introducing
again.
They're introducing another big guy.
Yeah, and they're introducing two more big guys. Yeah, so
yeah.
I don't know. We need there's too much talent on this roster. We need to do something about this, man. There's too much talent. We need to. You don't have enough spots for all these guys. So
let's make a third show and call it Wednesday Night Nitro.
Yep, let's do it.
Let's go. We'll compete with AEW right there. Wednesday Night Nitro. We'll see who the true WCW successor is. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Okay. Fair enough. We'll wrap up with
The Philadelphia Street Fight, a women's world championship between Stephanie Vaquer and Raquel Rodriguez. I think Raquel actually wins this one. Why? I think Stephanie has been incredibly stale as champion. She really hasn't done a whole lot. I think the Judgment Day interfere on their behalf of Raquel, and Raquel ends up winning. And now we enter into a very interesting scenario where it is Raquel and going up against possibly Liv, and they might lean into old friends finally have to collide like they did with Jey and Jimmy Uso a couple of years back. So I think that could be an interesting story, and I think that that is the direction they're going to go with this. So yeah, there you go.
yeah. Do you think Raquel, I guess, heads it back to Liv then? Supposedly, if Raquel versus Liv is to happen, maybe at Mania.
No, I think there's going to be like probably a week or two of anticipation as to like who Liv is going to choose, and I think Liv finally chooses Raquel. And I think that there is like a slow buildup of tension between the two. So yeah.
Yeah, I mean, as I said, like the women's is more interesting than the men, even if it is predictable, kind of. You can sort of see, you know, what ends up from that could be kind of interesting. I mean, Raquel versus Liv, that could feed into the Judgment Day breaking up. And I know we've said that the Judgment Day is going to break up soon, but I honestly think that this is actually the time to do it. If there is a time to break up the Judgment Day, this is it. This is, you start off with this. So yeah, honestly, do agree. Where do you think Stephanie Vaquer goes from here, though? Do you think she goes challenges for the women's Intercontinental Championship, or?
Yeah, I think she takes some time off. Maybe has to get better promo work, get her like an ESL tutor or something, because she really can't, or that, or get her a manager. And then maybe she goes after like a mid card title. So,
All right, yeah, I think she would be a great women's Intercontinental Championship holder. You know, I think Becky is getting a little stale in my opinion, but yeah, Stephanie holding that mid card title would be pretty cool. Pretty cool. Well, anyway, that's what we got for our predictions and bookings. And as I said earlier, we will watch the next episode of Monday Night Raw as it airs, and we will score it. And by it, of course, I mean our predictions and bookings, and we will come back on the next episode of this show, and we will tell you what we got. So until then, thank you for ordering a pepperoni pizza called Probably Next Week on Raw from Grapperinos. And remember, if you are down for some fresh, oven-baked, crispy wrestling content, stop on by Grapperinos and order yourself some content you can grapple with. See you next time, Grapperinos!